What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Double Dribble Podcast. It's episode 14. I'm Destin.
And I'm Drew. All
It's
right,
Drew.
let's go.
This episode, we're gonna start off with we got a quarter way through the NBA season. Every team has played about 20 games, so about a fourth of a way through the season, and we're just gonna give our picks so far for the awards. And that's MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, and Most Improved Player. So, Drew, where you want to start?
Let's start with MVP. Might as well go from the top right there. So I'm sure MVP, I already have an idea what your place gonna be on that.
I mean, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I mean, you can go first because I'm probably gonna end up agreeing with you at this point. I mean, it's early, but yeah, I mean, you can go ahead.
All right. So far, quarter way through the season, if I had to get an MVP award out, I'm going to give it to Giannis Antetokounmpo. So far this season. Big reasons why is one, Milwaukee has been one of the best teams in the league. They're like the best defensive team in the league, and Giannis, he's leading the way on that end. He's like their best defender, though they do have good defenders and they have a good scheme and good coaching and everything. He's leading the way on that end, and not to mention like the numbers they speak for themselves. I mean, he's giving you 31 a game, 11 and a half rebounds, giving you a block a game, 5 assists. Like, it's not what he's still very efficient. It's not his one of his more efficient seasons, but I mean, those great numbers. He's surefire superstar. Do I think he's been the best player in the league this season? I don't know. I think it's up for debate between, you got Steph, you got Luka, you have Tatum, but I feel like he's for the MVP award, he has been the best player on one of the best teams in the league. And for second place, I would have Tatum, my pick for MVP this season to start the season.
That's what I thought you were gonna say. I'm actually surprised you're saying Giannis right now. So
yeah, because I just feel like Tatum, he's breaking out and he's putting himself in that realm of those type of players, and I think we still kind of look past the fact that Giannis is still producing at that level, and he's been great, and Tatum has been great in his own way. I guess one of the big things that make me lean toward Giannis is because of the fact that he's been doing this and leading the team
without his second best player.
Yeah, without his second best player, and I think that's huge. I mean, you still have Jrue Holiday, who's been on and off, but still consistent on defense. Brook Lopez being healthy has been big for them this season because he wasn't last year. He's been helping out. You got Javon Carter, who's been playing really good. He's a great backup guard. Bobby Portis as well. Grayson Allen. That team is just complete, and they fit Giannis really well. But he's missing a key piece, his second best player, Chris Middleton, who should be coming back soon. And with Tatum, on the other hand, yes, he's having a fantastic season, but you look at it, Jaylen Brown is also having a career year. And the Celtics, they have the best offense in the league. And they're producing.
They're shooting out of their minds right now. Still.
Man, they're producing offense at a historic level right now. And they starting to pick it up on the defensive end. Now, they are missing Robert Williams, but that's probably the main reason why I lean Giannis, because Milwaukee has still been really good, and they haven't had their second best player. But I mean, I would have Tatum number 2, and I'm gonna I'm gonna say Steph and Luka both have been great in their own ways. The only reason I won't have them right now with those
winning.
two, yeah, like their records, like they both are like 500 or like game below 500, some crazy like that. Like they aren't on average to below average teams right now. Giannis and Tatum, like they on like the upper echelon best teams in the league right now. So I gotta give that credit because I know that's how like teams kind of look at MVP. But yeah, my pick right now is Giannis, but I'm still proud of what Tatum doing. I still think he has a chance to go get that award.
So on the Giannis thing, for me, I would say if I was just to go strictly off of what I normally look at and when I consider MVP, Giannis would be my MVP right now this year. But if I'm going off who I think is going to get it based on, I mean, if the season were to end today, I think it would be Tatum. Just because he hasn't won it yet. He hasn't really, he's getting that recognition now. Giannis has already won a couple. Tatum has had already some really big moments early in the season, some like highlight plays and, you know, superstar moments. And, and I feel like, and they have the best record in the league right now. We already know like how heavily the MVPs are weighted to the best player on the best team record wise.
Sure.
I think if they keep that the entirety of the season, I think that Tatum's gonna get it. I was kind of like speculating on this before the season, like could he separate himself and be that clear, unquestionable number one best player on the team? Nobody's even talking about Jaylen Brown as potentially being on his level. I think that's clearly what we're seeing right now this year. I think if he just needs to keep that up, his production, his efficiency has been ridiculous. He's already been an elite defender, so now that he has that offensive numbers to match it, I think that it's going to be his award to lose if they could keep that one seed, especially if it's the number one seed overall. But for me personally, yeah, I've always been somebody that like whenever I look at most valuable, I'm looking at like not just what you're able to do, but what you're able to do in your situation, right? And so yeah, I understand the Giannis thing a lot because I've always been somebody that supported guys that like did it with like guys out injured or having to carry a load and exceeding expectations and things like that, and still having your team among the best in the NBA. So I probably like feel more like Giannis is probably deserving of that because I think he is the best player still. But I think that Tatum is in a position to get that most likely. I mean, it's super early, but yeah, but I would say like right now, I say he's in that leading position probably for it. But yeah, what do you think on that? You think I don't really think anybody else is really seriously in the conversation. Like Luka to me is not. I mean, he has a lot of great numbers. He's like dropping 30 plus every single night, but I don't think he's really going to be in the conversation with like how their team's performing. Like they're 500 right now.
I think the only other player I would probably put in that conversation, it would be Devin Booker. I think a lot of people not talking about Booker, but he's been having like a really good season as well.
Yeah, and he actually has been, but like he just completely always gets overlooked.
yeah, he's gonna get overlooked for sure. But he's I think he's having one of his best seasons so far. Like he's like Tatum having a career
his best season.
But Booker, especially doing it without Chris Paul, and you know Chris Paul, he has taken a regression, very strong regression as a player. But like watching Book, when I see him, when I watch the series versus Dallas versus when I watch it this year, he's dealing with double teams a lot better as a playmaker and being like the main facilitator, especially with Chris Paul being out. And
isn't it interesting though? Like it almost seems like even though Chris Paul he's clearly like, you know, on the downward slope, like he's declining. Yeah. Like he's still a solid to good NBA player, but like he's not even what he was the first season when he got there, right?
Not even last year. He's not even what he was last
Yeah,
year. Like,
not even last year. But like, I feel like it's almost like the narrative. Because remember when Chris Paul got added, he made such an immediate impact on that team. It's almost like that's
yeah,
carrying over, and it's affecting Devin Booker and how he's
yeah,
viewed, and like his whole standing in the league, and like, I guess like his impact is kind of being impacted by Chris Paul being there, because they never really made that turnaround to being a playoff team until they got Chris
mhm,
Paul. And I feel
yeah,
like a lot of people are kind of holding that against him because he's not in that conversation at all. He is, if we're honest, he should be up there, but like
yeah,
you don't really feel like anybody's going to vote for him, like to really give him the
yeah.
MVP. Like,
Yeah, I don't really feel like people don't vote for him, but that's why I want to give him his flowers, because I've been noticing like his.
yeah,
And I'm not a huge Booker guy, but I can't just not acknowledge great basketball when I see it. And he's been playing great. Him and Aiden been playing good. I like Mikal Bridges that took another jump. They still missing Cam Johnson too, who
hmm
I think he has like a MCL injury or something like that, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he's been like the lead, not just the lead guy, like the lead guard over there. I mean, they started campaign, but seeing him make decisions, make smarter plays, deal with double teams better, and trusting his guys is great to see. And he's giving you like 28 points a game. Like he's rebounding pretty well, getting assists, and he's pretty efficient as well. But yeah, I want to give Booker his flowers too.
yeah,
So that's you can't deny that. We can't look past that. And Nikola Jokic as well. I don't think he's not putting up the same dominant performances, but I don't think that has anything with just regression or his points isn't as high. I think he's just trying to figure out who he has. Like when I watch him play, like he's making this dude. He can really lead the league in assists. I know it's Tyrese Halliburton. Shout out to Tyrese, by the way, because he's been balling, but he's been making some.
what's it like? What did they say? It was like 60 assists and like 0 turnovers in the last like 4 games, something crazy like that.
I know
That's some wild.
It's 40 assists
Or not
in the last 3 games.
But not 60 assists, 40 assists, but yeah, and
40
no turnovers.
assists, 0 turnovers in the last 3 games. Tyrese, boy, you man, that's. But yeah, but Nikola Jokic as well has been playing great. But yeah, I just want to give Booker his flowers real quick because he been balling.
Yeah, and we're not going to talk about that last Halliburton assist. We're not going to talk about that.
Bro, that was man. I can't even be mad though, because like I'm mad at Tyrese. No, one because I'm a fan of Tyrese. Like he's a joy to watch. But 2, it's like now we gave up that lead. I can't be mad at that, bro. I can't be mad at the Pacers or whoever that guy was who didn't play in like 6 straight games, then hit the game winning 3 on us. I mainly put that Andrew, but I mainly put that L on LeBron, and I put on Darvin Ham for sure. But it's all good. Like we gonna bounce back today.
Yeah, y'all have been playing significantly better anyway. So I mean, like, that's a
Should've
tough
won that
loss.
game.
But like, yeah, y'all should have won that game. Tough loss, but I still feel like y'all are clearly like on the right track now. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
As far as probably next up, defensive player of the year.
Oh,
you feeling?
You can go. You can start with that one. Drew.
I'm curious if you feeling if you leaning back towards your preseason prediction on that. I mean, like, so I so kind of similar to how I had I kind of said Tatum. I think he's going to get MVP. I'm going with Giannis on the defensive player of the year. They're the number 1 defense in the league. I feel like he's more likely to get that award too a second time than get that 3rd MVP. And so I feel like that's going to kind of be like a nod to him. Like I think he's going to lose out maybe on the MVP, but get that defensive player of the year. And the media will be recognizing his greatness still. But but I do feel like there could be a little bit of, I don't want to say voter fatigue on him getting the MVP. But I think that's going to help his case. Before the season, I was all in on the Rudy Gobert for a defensive player of the year thing, but goddamn.
They did.
Goddamn. Yeah. I don't even think their
Terrible.
defense is really like that bad. I don't think it's really his fault either. But it's just like, man, like they got so many problems offensively even. Like I thought it was gonna be like I didn't think that they were gonna have a step back in that end. But yeah, it's just been that whole team has been just a mess. And now they lost Cat for what they say like 6 weeks or something like that because of a calf strain. So
Yeah.
yeah, like it's gonna be interesting to see how they play without him for that stretch, and if they play better or how they look on both ends. Like I'm curious to see how if their defense is gonna look better during this time or if they're gonna get it together offensively. We're gonna see because it's gonna be interesting to see it. Because I actually kind of I wouldn't be surprised if like if there's something weird like that happens during the stretch. But they're gonna need Ant to like step it up now. So we're gonna see how offensively if he's gonna produce more. Okay, this is his chance right here to really make a statement. If he can like up his scoring and produce like maybe 25 plus a night, and then so we're gonna see. But yeah, I'm leaning to Giannis on the defensive player of the year, leading the number one defense and without his second best player. I think he's in a strong position for that right now.
Man, Giannis. I mean, I can't be mad at that pick. I have him in like the top 5 for that running right now. But for me, I'm gonna stick with my preseason pick. It's Anthony Davis, man. This dude is a monster. I think he kind of, when you watch the Lakers, they have some guys who can play defense from time to time, play pretty good defense. But nobody really sticks out, especially like LeBron. If LeBron was in his prime or something, yeah. But like some plays he plays great defense, others he be kind of slacking. So AD he kind of like single handedly holds the Lakers defense together. They have a top 8 defense in the league right now. He's top 5 in blocks, blocks per game, and he leads the league in rebounds. Like he almost gets you like 13 rebounds a game. Not to mention his scoring, but we're just talking about defense right now. He's been a monster on that end. The ground he covers, especially while playing, I think the thing that makes me give AD the edge over Giannis is the fact that AD plays the 5 like 100% of the time now, and playing the 5 defensively is, I think, it's much harder than just being like a Giannis
True.
being like a mostly a weak side and help side defender, which he's great at. He covers a lot of ground. He's the best defender on that team. But AD playing the 5.
Yeah, Brook Lopez helps him a ton, and AD don't really got anybody like covering to that level as far as the protection goes. So, yeah.
Exactly. Like AD, he's kind of like it's him or bust at the rim. You know, at least Giannis has the help of another 7-footer to help him contest shots and box out, and cover ground. AD, he's covering like on a pick and roll. He kind of has to. He's playing more drop covers than he has in recent years, but he's still able to cover, contest shots, or stunt, box out, or switch, or whatever the case may be. And he's the best. He's the best defender in the league right now. Like, to me, like he's a monster. It's watching defense for some people is like boring, but when I watch somebody who's in tune defensively, like they have great defensive instincts and they're just like a smart defensive player, it's very enjoyable to watch. And with a rim protector, because you kind of have like no margin for error, because if you don't help in time, you give up a jump shot, and if you help too much, you give up a lob. So he's in his length and everything. It like when I first heard, I think it was Max Kellerman. He said he was the first player I've seen guard the pick and the roll. So, and he's and it is just like 6'10", 6'11", something like that. And his smarts and defensive instincts. It puts him in weird positions where he'll end up like getting hurt trying to stun at the the dribbler, and then the lob comes, he reaches out, blocks the lob, but he end up on the floor. Like it's crazy stuff like that. But he's a joy to watch on that end. He's my defensive player of the year. Like I think it's, I don't know, maybe I'm being biased, but I think it's pretty clear. Like watching him play defense is yeah. That's my
No, I don't
pick.
think you're being biased at all. I think that like if you're just talking about who's probably been the best defensive player this year, it probably is AD. It's just I guess y'all just got to keep trending up for him to like get in that conversation. But yeah, he probably has been. If we just looking probably on performance on the court, straight up just that individually, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I
you
think
said like,
I think if we had like a average defense or something like that, I would probably like lean toward Giannis. But since we have top 10 defense, top 8, that makes it easier for me to. But it's one thing, and something I started to do, like Andrew, like this season, I started to really like go back, like look at stuff, and I don't put a huge stock into when I see a player make, even just awards, like a defense player of the year or all defense, something like that. I don't put like a huge stock into those because it's.
I'm gonna tell you something. So before you even, let me say one thing: that all defensive selections, there's a lot of cap in those. Man. There's a lot of like I would say this. I got to go look back at. I'm not gonna like. I don't know why I'm gonna use. I'm just gonna use. So Kobe. So I remember back when like Kobe was like probably like I would probably say since I gotta see what his selections were as far as after the season, but Kobe should have never made an all defensive team after 2009 and on. If Kobe made any all defensive teams 2009 and on, I think that's complete cap. I'm gonna be completely honest on that.
Yeah,
because his defense was not. He was not all defensive player at that point. He just wasn't. His defense was not on that level. He could still have moments or certain possessions game to game where he could maybe lock in, but like he was not one of those guys at that point. Like I remember he would get exploited on defense like crazy that year, and pretty much the rest of his career until he like got the injury. Like he was not a guy that was like he was usually guarding like inferior offensive options most of the game. And like, he wasn't really like locking in on defense like that. But I'm pretty sure he was still getting all defensive selections. So that's an example that always comes to my mind. Because I know people like point out, because I think Kobe has got like,
he was getting like first teams.
Yeah. And I think he's up there, right? Like I want to say like as far as total.
He has about like 14 or like 14 to 15 all defensive selections. And Kobe was a great defender, but I think you have to look at. I think it's a lot of it is just reputation, and just because. Well, like what made me first look at that, I think it was the 2021 season when the Lakers had the number 1 defense in the league, and none of their players made first team all defense or second team all defense, and the Bucks had the 15th ranked defense, Andrew. 15th or 16th. And they had 2 players that made the all defensive team. I can't remember if it was first team or second team, but it was Jrue Holiday and Giannis. And I'm like, bro, how is that the case? Like, I watched that season. Alex Caruso was great defensively. Dennis Schroeder was great defensively. LeBron was great defensively. AD, when he played, was great defensively. Marc Gasol was great defensively. Like we had some dogs and we was just getting stops. Frank Vogel was coaching the crap out of that team defensively, and like when I start to look, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like a reputation thing. And then the next season, you look at it, Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year, and I'm like, okay, number one, I don't even think he was the best defender on that team. I thought it was Robert Williams, and I think it's a lot of narrative based into it, and I can't put a huge stock into an all defensive team or a defensive player of the year or even like MVP or a All NBA team like selection or something like that. I mean, it's a nice accomplishment for the player. You know, it's congrats to them and whatever. But I can't put a huge stock into how it, especially when I'm debating players, because that's media. That's a media opinionated award, pretty much.
I would say more.
Like,
I would say more so with the defensive player with the
yeah,
All NBA, or more so than the defensive player years. Although there are some defensive player years that I'm like, but usually like if they win defensive player of the year, they're at least like, you know, an elite upper echelon top level defender, right? They win the defensive player of the year. But like sometimes like the All NBA defensive selection, sometimes it'd be like, nah, you really not even like there's like more than a handful of guys that are better defenders than you that should have
like
been
I
there,
can
right?
like
And that's
like
those
Marcus,
are more rep because it's like, yeah.
like Marcus Smart won the first player of the year last year. I can name 5 defenders who I thought was better than Marcus Smart last year, and I'm not even counting like AD because AD he missed a lot of time. I can look at Rudy Gobert. I can look at Mikal Bridges, Robert Williams, his own teammate, Draymond Green, Bam Adebayo. That's 5. That's 5 right there. Like, and I think it's kind of narrative based. Like, okay, Marcus Smart was talking about trying to get defensive player of the year this year. So I mean, for a couple years, and the Celtics have the number 1 defense. So let's vote for him, like something like that. So,
Yeah.
but when I look back at history, and they say who's a better defensive player, Marcus Smart or Anthony Davis? Oh, Marcus Smart, he got defensive player of the year. Are you crazy? Watch basketball. Like, there was a time when I believe LeBron finished like second in defensive player of the year voting.
Oh, you talking about when Marcus Gasol got it over?
No, not that. It was a time he finished like. I'm trying to look back at it, but let me see. I gotta find it. But there was a time he didn't make an all defensive team, but he was like top 5 voting for defensive player of the year. Like I think it was I can't remember the season, but that's kind of like crazy to me. So I don't know. I put it like I watch like games, like I judge your defense season to season. Who was like Matisse Thybulle made it last year? Like, how did Matisse Thybulle make the all defensive team? I think he was pretty good defensively, but it's other wings I thought was better than him.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of based off like reputation. So I don't know. That's why I started to look at that like differently. Like just awards in general. I can't just judge a player based off the award he not like championships, but like media opinionated awards, because like there's no reason that Anthony Davis should not have a defensive player of the year by now. Like, he's been the best defensive player in the league for years for me. I think because of injuries, yeah, but
that's the real reason why.
There's
he would have one.
Couple times I believe he should have had it. I think he should have won it like in 2018. I think he should have won in 2020 as well. But
2020 for sure, I think he should have had it.
Yeah, but that's just how it goes sometimes. But yeah, I can't put a huge stock into that. We can move to Rookie of the Year. I don't think this is really a debate right now. I can easily go with Paolo Banchero. He's been a monster. I was watching him. I think was it yesterday? Well, no, I think it was Monday versus the Nets, and he was balling versus KD. He's like a 6'10" point forward, and like that dude's a monster. I think he's running away with it. I think it should be like unanimous at this point. But I do want to give a shout out to.
I don't know if about unanimous.
Well,
maybe
we'll see. But I I do want to give a shout out to Benedict Mather for the Pacers. He's been balling. Even when he played the Lakers the other day, he talked smack and then he backed it up, and he was looking great versus the Lakers. He was looking great all season. And also, who was it? Who else I had in mind? Oh, I just want to shout out to Jabari Smith. He's starting to play great ball the past couple weeks. I like how he's been playing a lot more confidence. His defense is really good. Tari Eason as well. He's been playing great defense. And, shout out to them H-Town boys. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I got Paolo. I don't think it's really debate.
Yeah. No, I mean, I got Paolo too. I think he's gonna get it, and he's definitely statistically having the best season out of all rookies. Not close on that. I think Benedict Mathurin has a chance. I mean, he's having a really efficient rookie season. And the Pacers have been a surprisingly good team. Like they're winning. They're in a decent standing. The Magic have been terrible, which is they expect to be, but they've been really bad. Like I remember they got like absolutely destroyed by the Sixers, and when the Sixers had like nobody in that game. Yeah,
what? That was Sunday, I believe.
Yeah, and it was the bare bones Sixers for sure. Like they were just like yeah. They were, I don't know what match, and it was back to back. They got clapped there. They got clapped by them back to back. I remember now. Now I think about it, because they played them. It was like one of those home games.
Yeah, they did.
So yeah. Like I mean, they that like even my Rockets, like one of our handful of wins over the Magic.
Yep.
But yeah, so like they haven't really been playing good basketball. But yeah, as far as like how he's looked individually, yeah. Paolo's look good. Like he's already shown that star potential. Yeah, like his ability to like get to the rim and off the dribble and finish like through contact. He still got to, of course, work on his jump shot, like his 3-point shot. He's gonna have to improve there. But like he has all the signs of what could be a future star for sure. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Paolo's gonna probably run away with it. But I do think there's an outside chance for Mather, and if let's say the Pacers make the playoffs, he keeps up his numbers. Maybe his numbers improve. Like maybe he gets to over 20 points a game. I think he's at 19 right now, and he's shooting like 40.
If they trade Buddy Hield, and then he gets that starting job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Trade Buddy Hield.
I know. Like the biggest story with him coming into the season was that comment he made about LeBron. You remember that? He said.
I remember that.
He was like, I was like, this man wild. And he was like, he gotta prove to me he better than me or something like that.
Yeah, and when I was like, bro, who's this kid? But I looked at his highlights, and then like to watch him this season, he's been hooping. Like I watched him in the preseason, and this season he's been like, you can't talk about him at all. He's a baller. He can hoop. And he backed it up the other day. So he outplayed LeBron when they went against each other.
Well, I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
He outplayed him. Yeah, I mean, they played different roles, but yeah, I mean, a little like a game over 500, but a lot of people, I mean, some people expect it to be like the same old Kings, and they've been playing like some great ball. They lost a few tough games. Like they lost on a travel game winner to Tyler Hero. They lost on a shot Kevin Huerter he shot, and he was fouled.
Yep, Klay Thompson, right? I think he fouled him, right?
Yeah, and then the last 2-minute report came out the next day, said he was fouled, but too late at that point. What you gonna do? But yeah, him and the other coach I picked was Rick Carlisle. He got the Pacers as a top 4 seed right now, I believe, in the East.
Did you see like? I was supposed to, did you see that gas that like? What did you heard what KD said about Kevin Huerter? Or you saw like that quote? I don't know if you saw that. It was like somebody was interviewing KD, and like he said something like they're playing really great basketball in Sacramento right now, and that Kevin Herter is playing like prime Klay Thompson or something like that. I don't know if you saw.
No, I didn't see that.
So, man, I gotta show it to you later, man. I was like, what? He was like, man, KD is killing, man, with some of the stuff he's been saying.
Yeah, KD he had no filter, but Kevin Herter, he's been shooting the piss out the ball, bro.
But yeah,
he's a certified sniper, and yeah. But what I was saying about Rick Carlisle, got the Pacers playing great ball. I mean, they have a really talented team over there. Tyrese Halliburton looking like top 10 point guard. He looking like the best playmaker so far this season. Somebody say he's a top 5 point guard. I don't know if I say that even this season, because you got to look at Curry, you got to look at Luka.
Man, the Rockets lost to the Pacers. One of the games that pissed me off the most this year, man. Straight up, I'm just reminded of that game right now.
They let them come back because the Rockets got off to a fast start.
And what really annoyed me as well was Rick Carlisle did pull the whole like I'm gonna get myself thrown out to motivate the team. Usually that shit don't work. Of course, that shit worked against us. Like, did you remember he did? Like, I think it was the first quarter. He got mad and he just like it was clear he was trying to get thrown out. He was walking on the court. He was yelling, like he's saying all kinds of profanity and shit, just like waiting for him to toss him. He was trying to pull that old school I'm gonna get thrown out and light a fire under the team or whatever, and that shit actually worked. Man.
Yeah, and then I remember like Tyrese, he kind of like took over the game.
He out coaching Silas from outside from getting tossed out the game.
Wow.
Man. But
yeah, and I mean they got Tyrese playing good. I like Jalen Smith. I like Benedict Mathurin. Miles Turner. I like Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, especially.
Yeah.
I really like Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, Rob Pelinka.
I'm sure Miles Turner like the Lakers as well.
Yeah, but they have that rim protector. They have like great shooting, and they have an awesome, exceptional lead guard, Tyrese. Man, he's been a beast. He might be like one of the picks for most improved. Even though he had like a great season last season, but when they win in games, he could have that narrative for him. He's not my pick for most improved, but I mean, if people pick him, I won't deny it because he's been great. He's probably like an all-star this season too, if you look at it. But Rick Carlisle, Mike Brown, they've been doing some great jobs with those teams. People didn't really expect too much from. I think the Pacers may like regress a little bit, maybe the Kings as well. But I give credit where it's due. Right now, they've been doing a good job with those teams.
I mean, honestly, we were just talking about the Kings. If the Kings weren't playing so well right now, they'd be getting flame broiled even more for how Tyrese Halliburton's been looking. But I guess like they need to be playing good because it's kind of helping that's not being a conversation right now because De'Aaron Fox is actually hooping. And they chose to basically, make him the guy that they're going to go forward with, and Domantas Sabonis has also been really good this year with them as well. So, they got to make the playoffs this year. It's been too damn long. I don't know. I still don't buy them making them. Be honest, I ain't buying it yet. But like, they need to. I think
it'll be like a play-in team, but
yeah, I think they have the longest drought still, right? It's them,
yeah,
right?
They do.
Like the longest, like 2006 or something like that.
I think they have the longest drought in sports, not just the NBA.
Damn, that's wild.
That's crazy.
Like all sports, like NFL and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
All right, and most improved. Who you got, Drew?
Lauri Markkanen. Now I felt stronger about it like a couple weeks ago. I still feel like even if they falling back to earth, they ain't gonna make the playoffs. They shouldn't have made the playoffs. They were looking like they were like gonna just keep this going for a while, and it was getting out of hand. But yeah, I feel like his numbers are still gonna be up there. He's like them losing right now and them falling. I don't think it's necessarily been his fault. like they're getting exposed. They're just like I like the game they played against the Sixers. Like Embiid just destroyed them.
Yeah.
They don't got nobody.
You
They can
see
guard them.
the lack of bigs, like even when they played against DeAndre Ayton,
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton had like a 20-20
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk getting just eaten alive. Yeah,
obliterated.
So, I mean, yeah, as he should be. So like, yeah, but like his numbers are really good. He's improved, like not just as like as a shooter, but as a scorer off the dribble, his handle, getting into the paint. He looks like a completely different player. Yeah, and like they've been doing a lot of like, I think a lot of it is coaching as well. Like they've done like a lot of like smart plays with like dribble handoffs with the bigs, like with Lowry, and like that's been like a way to really free them up and get them easier offensive shots and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I like how he's been playing. It's not who I had going into the year, and the dude I had going into the year, you already know who. I don't think he's gonna get it. But yeah, I mean, it's still really really early. But yeah.
Hey, who you had?
Jalen Green.
Oh, Jalen Green. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's still super early. Yeah, but like the way the Rockets have been, we've been like losing all kinds of games. So yeah, I think even if like Jalen was to keep getting his numbers up there, if he was to get to like 24, 25 or something crazy like that, like I don't think it's gonna really be enough. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm leaning with Lowry still after this first quarter of the season.
Yeah, I feel you with the marketing. With me, I went a different. I thought about marketing, but I went a different direction. My pick, I got Bol actually, and the reason I went with Bol is because when I look at everybody like in the league and they're okay. No. When I look at like players like for their like improvement, when I look at Bol, like he went from like not even really playing last year, and like we knew Larry Marketing was a good player. He has his ups and downs. He was good for Cleveland last year, and you know he took a bit of a leap this season with Utah. But Bol, he kind of just like went from nothing to something.
Yeah,
and true. he's been playing like great. Like he's giving me like 2 blocks a game, about like 14 points, like 67% from the field, which is crazy. And he's rebounding really well. He's playing great. I mean, the Magic, they aren't a good team, but him and Paolo, they've been like some real bright spots for them and like for their future. He kind of like they re-signed Mo Bamba, but they only play him like that because Bol's emergence and like to see where he was in Denver and even last year when he wasn't playing or barely even cracking a rotation to now doing this is great to see. So that's who I got right now for my most improved because it's like even like usually like the most improved player is a player who like they'll probably make their first All-Star team or his team make the playoffs or something like that. But when I look at he's really like the most improved because he went from nothing to, I mean, he was like a prospect. He was kind of like a question mark too because of his size and
people have been waiting to like even see him on the court because he also was couldn't stay healthy a little bit too. But this is what a lot of people kind of were expecting or predicting that he could possibly look like. But
yeah, I really like what I've been seeing from him though.
Yeah, like he's had some crazy little plays too. I don't know if you saw that play where like he used to be pulling up sometimes. Just like okay.
And he shoots like 42% from three. He only shoot like 2 threes a game, but that's still a good percentage. And he'll get the ball, go coast to coast. Like he'll block a shot, get the rebound, go coast, like nobody can stop him on the dribble. He has nice touch. Like he isn't like a fearless finisher, like go dunk on you. But when like people stop him, he's tall enough and he has great touch to like float it over the top and put it right in. So it's been really like interesting to see how he's improved and how he's been playing.
All right, so We touched on what next? Sixth man of the year probably is the last one we haven't really talked about.
Yeah, I believe it's 6 man.
So, who you feeling on sixth man of the year? Who are you? Because I think you may have to give some props to your boy now.
Before I say I'm gonna give a shout out to Russell Westbrook. He has been balling. I mean, I want to say he's been balling, but he's been playing like really well. He's been playing within his role, and I like the energy he brings off the bench.
You're a star in your role.
Yeah, he's been a star in his role. That's all you can really ask for. 6 man of the year though, I don't know if I can go that far because his shooting hasn't been great. You know, hasn't been like very great, like as far as like efficiency, but like I appreciate what he's been bringing and you know to the Lakers. He's been playing pretty good defense and everything, but as far as 6th man of the year, you know that's the one I forgot about when I wrote down my list, but
yeah, I'm still for me, I'm probably still gonna stick with my preseason pick on that. Even though it's like he hasn't been kind of shaky like recently, but
yeah,
but I still feel like it's early in the season and he's gonna pick it back up. But yeah, I'm still leaning Christian Wood on that. But yeah, of course Dallas still got to make the playoffs. I expect them to, but yeah, I still feel pretty strongly that he's gonna have the numbers to at least when the season gets down to the wire. But this Russell Westbrook thing, I don't know. Like if y'all make the playoffs and he keeps doing this, I could see him getting that recognition, the media embracing him doing this as well, possibly. So I don't know. We'll see. But,
yeah. I mean, if I were to pick right now, I would go with Christian Wood as well. He's been good, just kind of what I expected from him in Dallas. Like you said, his past few games haven't been great, but other than that, he's been a solid player for them off the bench. And he's playing like sometimes he plays like starter minutes, which helps him. I want to give a shout out to, even though I don't like him at all, but Cam Payne. I don't know if he would qualify because he's been starting recently, but he's been playing really well in that starting spot behind Chris Paul. I think you have to just play like a certain percentage of minutes off the bench to qualify for 6 man of the year. So if he would qualify, I think he'd have a good case, especially since Phoenix is atop the West. But yeah, Cam Payne, he's been playing really good ball. Russell Westbrook and Christian Wood for sure.
I think Malcolm Brogdon as well has an outside chance, but like I don't know if I don't know if his numbers have been good enough. Probably his averages probably ain't good enough, but he's been really good off the bench. Like that's
I think he just missed a few games. That's probably just the only thing you can say. But like he's been playing great as well.
Yeah, he's been really good for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh nah, yeah, this dude here. I mean, like, you know, a player great, and then you look at his numbers, you be like, oh, damn, he has been playing great. Like off the bench, he scores 14 a game.
But his shooting splits are crazy, though, aren't they? Yeah, I know he was shooting
4 assists, 4 rebounds, and
yeah, he's been crazy efficient.
He's shooting 62%. Like that's crazy. Like 47% from the 3, 49% from the field, and 86% from the free throw line. 14, 4 and 4 off the bench. Like, and while playing good defense. Like, what more can you ask for? With backup point guard. That's a solid starting point guard.
Huge pickup.
You remember when you met him
Yeah.
a year or two ago, and I told you tell him request a trade to the Lakers. Yeah, nah, he's been hooping.
Y'all could use him right now for sure. In that same role Westbrook in right now, straight up.
What? Not even that, bro. A starter, like, don't come off the bench.
You're right, actually.
But and I was thinking to myself the other day, like I had texted my group chat, like, bro, I love Westbrook. Like I've been like he's not one of my favorite players, but I've been like supporting and being a fan of his like since he was in OKC. But I say I love and I hate Russell Westbrook because why does he have to make $47 million, bro? Like, if he was making like less money, then the role he'd be playing in would be like excellent. But that $47 million, man, that's kind of wild. But he's been playing his role. Shout out to Darvin Ham getting somebody to like Russell Westbrook to buy into a role coming off the bench, which is nuts. I didn't see it happening, but he's doing it. Gotta win this game tonight against Portland, though, man. I don't want to be 7-32. We should be 8-11 right now.
What's the best games coming out tonight? We got.
There's some good games tonight.
Oh, Heat Celtics should be good. Sixers Cavs, that could be good.
Yeah. We played Portland.
Rockets play Nuggets again. Goddamn.
Oh, look. It's crazy. The two teams I was telling you about for the Coach of the Year, Pacers and the Kings play each other. That should be a good game.
His former teammates right there.
Yeah. And then, Mike Brown and Rick Carlisle, and those coaches, they've been good coaches in the past. Like they've both won Coach of the Year before. I think Mike Brown won with the Cavs and Rick Carlisle won with the Pacers the first time he was there.
Yeah. I think he won with the Cavs in 2009, Mike Brown? Or 2009.
Yes, 2009. 2009. When they won 66 games. Went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Mo Williams sold. Supposed to be Kobe and LeBron in the finals. Mo Williams. Man. I'll never forget you, Mo Williams.
Man.
But yeah, it's some great games. And I think on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, NBA be like so dry. Like they have like one game or like two games. Like tomorrow's one game. Dallas and the Pistons. And then Friday, hella games. Yeah, Tuesday. I don't know what it is. NBA just don't like playing games on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like on Tuesdays, like nobody like to play. I guess.
Yeah. Around the league, we're seeing a lot of these teams, a lot of the standings starting to shake out a little bit to kind of what we expected to be after that crazy start.
Yeah, it was very surprising, but some teams at the top starting to come down and other teams starting to pick up wins. I think some of that in part was due to like at the beginning of the season, it's a lot of top matchups like we saw like for instance with the Lakers, like we saw Lakers versus the Warriors, Lakers versus the Clippers, Lakers versus I forgot who else they played. I think they played. Did they play Portland? I'm not sure, but and then other teams had like easy schedules. Milwaukee has like a pretty easy schedule so far. So once you see like teams start to play other teams or get their rhythm or whatnot, then things kind of starting to fall in line. But it's still been a bit surprising.
Yeah,
so far.
there was definitely a lot of teams playing like way above what anybody expected for sure. Like the Spurs started off really good. Of course, Utah was looking like they were gonna keep it up for a little bit. They started off really good. We also saw teams like come out that were like expected to be contenders that were just struggling at the gate, and I feel like that's multiple things. Like a lot of teams, like I know, like with the Sixers, they had like they came out they lost to the Celtics and then the Bucks, and then Embiid wasn't healthy, Harden wasn't healthy, Maxey ain't healthy, but now they started playing good without them dudes, right? Until Embiid just came back, so it's been kind of weird, but defensively is where they really picked it up. Like I think they shot all the way up to like top 2 or 3, I think, defensively now. So like that's really where they made their adjustment and their improvement to start winning some of these games. Also, the schedule I think got easier because they did have a tough little early start to start the season. The Warriors, they it's still kind of tough to figure out what's going on with them. But yeah, because Steph's been playing out of his mind since the season started. Clay's had moments here and there where he's looked like the old dude, like he looked crazy against us, looked like peak Klay Thompson. God damn, man, this man was just pulling up, hitting everything immediately, like quick trigger, just no hesitation, was cashing everything on us.
And then,
but
like,
yeah, like
yesterday against Dallas, he stinks it up, and then he misses like the wide open shots to send the game to overtime. Like,
yep.
If it was against the Rockets, he would have hit that. If it was the Lakers, he would have switched that. But
man.
You know.
So yeah, there's definitely been like some things, like something going on. Like I think it's just also like the league is probably actually has some parity, like for the first time in a minute. Like we look around the league, and I still feel like this is probably the most parity we've seen in a very long time. I don't want to say for sure, but it could be since I've been watching basketball, like at least in the past decade, right? We ain't seen this kind of parity. Like even the Kings right now looking good. So
exactly. That's how you know something crazy going on. The Kings looking good, and as being like a fan of the Lakers, like the only reason I give us like an outside chance is because how the whole landscape of the West has been looking. Like at the top is like there's nobody you really scared. Like from like a Lakers fans like point of view, it's nobody like Phoenix. No matter how good they are, they don't really scare anybody. Like they still have to,
especially after what we saw especially after what we just saw. Like we cannot. Nobody, you can't forget that. Once you see that, it's like it's going to be there until they prove you who otherwise. You're always going to expect something that you can't trust with them. You know.
Yeah, and then like other teams, they still have their problems, and like the Lakers, they have like I want to say like 12 losses, but like the teams, but like New Orleans have 8. So and at this point in the season, that's not like a huge,
not at all,
like discrepancy like at all. Memphis has 8. The Clippers, they have 9. The Clippers have been playing pretty good ball, but they have their own problems as far as like their star players being healthy. Like Kawhi's gonna miss another game. Yeah, he suffered another injury. Paul George also out with an injury. Portland, Dame, he's out right now. He should be coming back soon, but they're 11-10. They started off hot, but they started to regress. You saw that game yesterday against the Clippers?
Yeah, I saw like some of it, like the second half.
Yeah, they were smoking the Clippers, and then they just and then Jeremy Grant falling out didn't help. And then the Clippers, they were on the run. Norman Powell was just, man, he gave 30 points off the bench. If the Clippers were healthy, that would be something serious, but you cannot like count on it. Like they've been missing so many games. Like, there's 2 stars. It's crazy.
Kawhi.
Like if one of their stars was there the whole time, then okay, but they both out. And your main guy, like I saw something when Kawhi signed that deal with the Clippers, his new contract. You know, he's only played 5 games. He signed that deal like before last season. So
Oh, so he signed it when he was hurt. Okay.
Yeah. So he's only played 5 games under that new contract. And I think it's a bit problematic. I'm not gonna lie, but
everything about the whole Kawhi Clipper situation just seems like it's destined to be just like it seems like it's destined for failure.
I think the Clippers cursed, bro. Like I saw a video like a long time ago, and they're saying like the Clippers are a cursed franchise, and they may need to get out of LA, go to Seattle or something. I don't think they're gonna get out of LA because I think they just built a new they're gonna have their own center or whatever where they play it. But yeah, like in the Lakers, they 7-12 should be 8-11, and they not far off from being like not even just and they're the same record as playing teams as playoff teams. Like Sacramento is 6, Clippers are 5th, and they have 9 losses. The Lakers have 12, so they're not like far off at all from being there. So that's the only thing that kind of keeps me going, and seeing like there's a handful of games that we should have won that we didn't come through on. LeBron has still been kind of up and down, especially since coming from that injury, but I don't expect that to continue. AD has been a beast, and they said we are looking at some trades right now. They said that teams are looking to try to get Patrick Beverly or Kendrick Nunn, I guess, because their contracts are close to expiring, which that could be appealing for some teams, especially who kind of who have good players but they're headed toward like the bottom or something like that. They could come off some of those pieces. So, I think the West has definitely had some parity, like you said. So, we're gonna be back in a little bit, see how this all shakes out. Hopefully, Lakers are a 500 or above team. Trying to focus.
Yeah, what the hell's going on? Close enough.
Yeah.
There we go. But
yeah. All right, bet.
But yeah, no, it's even in the East, it's kind of like it's pretty jumbled up. I mean, we got the Celtics and the Bucks, like they clearly the top of the class right there in the East. But like everybody else is like the standings are just a mess. Like, but I kind of like that. It's adding to the intrigue of the season. Like we don't really know anything definitively yet. And I like that, like going into like All-Star break and when we get into that last like 25, 30 games of the year, it's going to be interesting to see what the standings are looking like, how teams are playing, if everybody's back healthy. Because I like that it's kind of it's going to make things a lot more interesting this year. But I thought this season was going to be crazy, but in a different way. I thought it was going to be just so many teams playing well. Like so many elite teams playing well, and but it's kind of been everybody kind of struggling, except for really like 3 teams like Suns, Bucks, Celtics, right?
I think Denver has been has been pretty good. They had pretty good issues, but
they started the season off kind of struggling a little bit, but yeah, they kind of corrected and got it back going. But, and Jamal Murray's starting to look like he's coming back into form now. So
he's been putting up because it helps when you play the Rockets. It seems like when teams play the Rockets, they start to have that.
I really hope we can win this game. What made me mad about the game as well is I don't know if you peeped. Did you see like what Jokic said?
Yeah, about Sengun. He was kind of like telling the Rockets what to do.
Yeah, I'm like, how Jokic going know better than what the coach we should be. He's like, yeah, they should be playing through Sengun more. And I'm like, and in that game, Sengun was our best player in that game, and we were a positive with him on the court, but like it didn't make no sense the way he was playing them, the way he that was another annoying ass game to watch.
Yeah, I think especially like if the Rockets continue to trend where they've been going as far as just winning games, like record wise and stuff, Silas probably gonna be out after this season. And I think like you said, like you told me like off camera, like Quinn Snyder would be like a great pickup for
yeah,
them.
man, we just need a coach with experience on like that, like at least has something they can like some structure that they can point to get the players to buy in. Because I feel like that's a big thing. Like so many young guys, you need them to be able to buy into something like, oh, like something that you can point to and be like, okay, I have experience. This is what I did, and then like they're more likely to follow and to, you know what the hell they're doing. But like if he has like week to week, game to game, we doing different stuff. Like it's all on the fly. It's like I like having Eric Gordon come off the bench more, and KJ Martin starting. But I feel like like we should be playing through Sengun more. If he's going to be out there starting, we should be playing through him more. If somebody's got it going, keep feeding them. Roll with the high hand. You don't got like it's just basic stuff to me. Like if somebody's got it going, try and get them involved more into the offense. Try and get them more shots. Things like that. There's too much. I don't understand. The only way I can understand is if it's intentional. And like, I don't think that they're trying to throw these games. I don't think that he's trying to do it. It doesn't seem like that's what they're trying to do. But maybe that's the only excuse for him is if he's like being told secretly, like Raphael Stone's like, hey, we need you to like do some stuff on the sly. We want to get Victor Wembanyama. So, occasionally just, how about this? Play all the minutes. He stopped doing this recently. So I can't say this anymore, but like when they were playing KBJ and Jalen Green were playing all their minutes together, right?
Yeah, they were not staggering them.
Then he started staggering them, and it started working to help. It started helping us play better. But if they stuck with that, I'm like, it never made sense to me why they were doing it in the first place. So I was like, what the, like two guys that literally, like you're not benefiting, getting the best out of them by playing all their minutes together. It never made sense. But and then the Sengun thing, like starting him, not starting him, saying, "Oh, like we want to have a lob threat. That's why we gonna start Bruno Fernando." I'm like this man, he's not prime D'Anthony. He's not prime DeAndre Jordan or something like that. I'm like, come on, man. Like, but yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if it's all just like a secret ploy to like lose games, which is why we had some really questionable decision making from a coaching standpoint. That's the only excuse I can give him. But if that's not what's going on, then he's just a terrible coach to me. So I don't know. Well, so it's like
if it is a secret thing like to lose game, he needs to try harder because the Spurs not going nowhere.
Right? Spurs done overcorrected now. They like y'all thought we were overperforming to start the year. They're like, yeah, we back in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. We already know Tony Parker got the connection for us. So
yeah, they've been
because they
have the worst record, right?
I think they have one more loss than us. I thought we were the worst, but I think we passed them just recently. No, we have the worst record. Still, we got the same amount of losses. They got one more win, so they 6-15. We 5-15.
Yeah, they lose in the next game.
Yeah,
they lose in the next game for sure.
Hopefully not, but yeah, we gonna see. But
I'm just looking at some stats right here. What is it? You know what? What's this? A PER? I know what it means, but like, what's a good like breakdown of it? Like what is it?
It basically just like it's a single digit number that tracks. Well, not a single digit number because it usually is a double digit number. But basically, it's a number that tracks like the compilation of your total statistical output. So like your it doesn't really the only problem with it doesn't really account for defense anywhere. So, but it counts for like all your offensive stats and like your assists, your rebounds, field goals, efficiency. It's kind of like a number, like a kind of like NFL QBR kind of, right? Or NFL passer rating maybe, right? But it's they call it player efficiency rating. I think it was what's his name? Tom Hollinger is the dude that created it. He used to be a GM for like the Grizzlies. But like it basically was a stat like to try and like basically in a simplified form, try and find out who the most productive players in the league are. And so it's basically a way of like measuring just total production for all the players in the league. And but the biggest negative towards that number, that stat, is that it does not account for defense, and so it doesn't account for like how good of a defender
So it counts like defensive stats, but not just defensive impact without stats. Like you know how like
it doesn't account for defensive impact. It just like it'll be like it might account for like steals and blocks maybe if it's in there, but like but not like like things like defensive field goal percentage don't count for nothing like that, or like or like defensive rating. It doesn't account for anything like that. Or like on-off defense, on-off like numbers. It doesn't account for anything like that. But like if you have like basically all the guys that usually are leading in the league in PER are like the best, are top of the league in PER, are like best players in the league because they're putting up like 25 to 30 points. Stats. Yeah, 8 to 10 plus assists. 7 to 10 plus rebounds. But basically, it's just a stat that like it kind of accumulates all that into like one number. I think like AD, had like at one point, I think he had like, I can't remember what season it was, but he had like set the record at one point years ago for like one of the best PERs. I think I surpassed though. I think maybe either Giannis surpassed it or Jokic surpassed it. But I remember AD had like one.
It may have been Jokic.
Yeah. But yeah, like I remember AD had like when he was with the Pelicans one of those years, he had like a ridiculous PER. And but if you go look at all the dudes that have ever led the league in PER, they've always been superstars. And they've always been guys that have been like some of the best players of all time. Like LeBron's led the league in PER before, Giannis led the league in PER, Jokic led the league in PER.
Like the all-time leaders in PER are Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and then Anthony Davis. I believe AD is sick. He may have moved because it's his previous injuries, kind of put his stats behind. But if I were to ask you who are the top 5 leaders in PER right now without looking, who would you think? Let's see if you know.
Right now, this season?
This season, yeah. It only have to be in order. Just tell me the top 5.
Luka, Giannis, Tatum, Embiid. Am I right so far? Luka, Giannis, Tatum, Embiid.
You got 2 right.
Damn. Luka, Tatum, Giannis, Embiid, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody that like is up there. Damn, Jokic.
Jokic is up there.
Okay. So which ones did I get right?
You got Luka, Giannis, and Jokic, right?
Okay. So probably Steph was probably in there too, probably, and I probably didn't get. Yeah.
Steph is in there, and the other one is AD.
Ah, yep.
Yeah.
I have a feeling AD might be up there.
Your top five is Luka, Jokic, AD, Giannis, and then Curry. If I ask you the top five PR leaders of all time, who would you say they are?
Top five
Yes.
PR of all time?
Yeah. Well, I kind of gave you three, but let's see if you can get the order because the order has kind of shaken up a little bit.
They are well, of course, so MJ, LeBron, MJ, LeBron. Wait, why don't I see you? You see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, I don't know what happened. But okay, MJ, I don't see you anymore. MJ, LeBron, and of all time, and low-key might be Jokic up in there now. Unfortunately, like probably right, something crazy like that. But yeah,
You can see me
MJ,
now?
LeBron. Yeah, I see you. MJ, LeBron, Jokic, AD, and MJ, LeBron, Jokic, AD, Giannis. Am I right?
Wow, you were on it, but you have four of the top five.
Who's
You have four
who's
of the
wrong?
top five. Giannis.
Ah, okay. So who's the fifth?
It's Joel Embiid.
Oh shit!
Yeah. By
You know what?
ranking it.
That actually makes sense though. But he misses so much time that I feel like he probably doesn't like each season. He probably doesn't get noticed to be ranked up there. But like probably he makes the numbers. But he's
I think
for the games he plays. Yes, I think that's what it is. For the games he plays, he's probably up there. But he's missed so much time.
Yeah, I think AD he was like right behind LeBron and Mike, but I think he's been missing some games and he been playing, he ain't been healthy, so that kind of didn't help him out. But he's fifth right now. It's Mike, it's LeBron, it's Jokic, it's Embiid, and then it's Davis. So that's and like, as I'm looking at it, majority of the players on this list are big men. Like the only guard I see as I'm going down is Chris Paul. So that's pretty
It just
interesting.
seems like because it rewards things like scoring, assists, rebounding. All those get heavily valued in that stat.
Is it like efficiency? All that.
So yeah, like when it's like that's the only thing. Like when it says like, it's called player efficiency rating, but it's not really like it doesn't really like measure like it doesn't really factor in like field goal percentage stuff like that. It's more just like a totality of like all your statistical output into like one number. It's kind of like that. It's like, yeah, it's just basically a way of measuring your production in one number. So like, damn, like if you like most likely if you're number one in the league in like player efficiency rating, you probably like have a crazy amount of boards, points, and assists, right?
Yeah,
Or
that
combination. Yeah.
Yeah, PR it definitely favors like great rebounders. If you can rebound and score, you're probably gonna be high.
Yeah.
PR.
Another thing that's weird about the stat is like it also favors people who take a lot of shots. Like if you have more field goal attempts, it actually raises your PER. It's kind of weird. It's like one of the things the stat. But like if you don't take a lot of shots, you're usually not gonna have pretty high PER. You got to have like a lot of field goal attempts too.
Players I see with the fewest shots is Jokic doesn't even take 14 shots a game for his career. And I think that has to do with the fact that he wasn't really
early in his career. It was
early.
Like, his career had like a complete flip like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like the conversation used to be for the longest, at least for me, and I know like I used to talk about this with people all the time. Was like, man, this man just like he's just not aggressive enough. It seems like he's a great passer, but it feels like he defers way too much. and then like something just flipped for him, and he was like, "Nah." Like
I think he like the past couple seasons, the demand of him, especially with his players out, he had to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
And this season he's still been playing great. He hasn't been as aggressive, I guess, with his guys back. So
yeah, you're actually probably right. It probably wasn't something that flipped with him. It's probably that he got forced into it because all the it was kind of like if you're gonna we need you to score more because there's this guy's not playing right now, and guys in and out the lineup. But I feel like it did start, I think, before the injuries, but it got even like more to that level. 'Cause I think it started that year, that bubble year that they upset the Clippers. I think he started it that year, I believe. But yeah, man. But yeah, that's one of those stats that, like, I know it's like that's definitely it's definitely become a controversial stat though in a way. It's definitely still like a popular stat though because it is a simple way of being like, yeah, like the players who rank high in this category are always damn near like cream of the crop, all-time players, superstar players. So it is an easy way of like, sorting those players out. It's something that it's a good stat for that.
Yeah. It really is. I mean, if you're looking at it, yeah, I think if somebody's like learning about the game, this is something good to look at. I mean, you can't just say, "Oh, these are leaders in PR, so they're the best." This is how you rank players. No, but
but it's a good way of being like, okay, like you want to see like a good barometer of like the best players in the game. Yeah, because there's not really any other stat where you can just point to and then it'll have all those top guys, right? You can't really do that, but you could do it with PR. You can't really do that with like field goal percentage. You can't really do that with just like scoring points per game. Points per game is probably the next closest, but it's definitely going to be some guys that are not like those guys up there. It's always going to be some guys that are up there that are like So,
and it's still. I mean, stats don't tell everything. I mean, this is probably like the best stat, but it's still missing a lot of context. So, I mean, that's why it's best to do your due diligence and go back and watch games, not just looking at stats is important, but it's gonna watch games. And me, like when I rank players, just three things that I look at: how good were you? How long were you good? And how did you perform when it matters the most? AKA how like your playoff level prediction. So not necessarily, oh, you won a championship with your back against the wall. I mean, I look at stuff like that too, but not just winning the championship, because you can not win the championship or you can win a lot of championships, but that misses like so much context. Like, were you really good when it matters the most and your team just failed you or your roster failed you? Or were you carried, or did you underperform and still win? How like would I give you that credit for like, how would I say, because you have this championship, you have this many championships, and this guy has less championships than you, that makes you better? No. That's an unfair assessment. Like, oh, like, so you had to actually watch. So that's the best thing for me to look at. How good were you? How long were you good? Like, were you just good for a couple seasons and you fell off, or were you able to sustain this a long period of time? And were you the same guy? Were you great when it matters the most? So that's the main things I look at when I rank players. Well, PER is a great stat to look at.
Yep.
Well, Andrew, I'm about to go get me something to eat. Hungry.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be watching these games tonight. What's the main game you looking forward to seeing tonight?
You already know. So I'm gonna watch the Rockies, of course, because I gotta see Jalen, see how he looks. Gotta see how we redeem ourselves from the last game. Are we gonna look just as bad, or it's gonna be any adjustments? So I'm gonna watch that game for sure.
This one of those back-to-backs. One of back-to-back.
Yeah. It's weird though, because it's both games were in Denver, so we just stayed there. for both
Yeah.
games.
Just kind of how
and
the
then
Lakers just did with the Spurs. It's played to them.
here, and then we, of course, I got to watch the Sixers and the Cavs because that should be a good matchup. I wish everybody was healthy for that, but I'm still gonna watch that one. And then I'm gonna try and peep in on that Celtics Heat game as well. Probably
Yeah,
three. I'm gonna watch them. Yeah, three.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
for
focus
me-
in on the most.
Yeah, for me, it's the Rockets and the Nuggets. Of course, I want to see. It don't matter. Like the Rockets are obviously one of the worst teams in the league, and the Nuggets are one of the best. But it's still hard to beat a team 2 times in a row. Like I don't care like who you are. And that game, the other day was pretty close. The Nuggets, they showed their how just much better they were, and towards the second half of that game. But that game was pretty close, and I expect the Rockets to come with some more fights, more like particularly in the second half. So I'm gonna be watching that one. The Celtics and the Heat for sure. Gotta watch my boy Tatum, and yeah, the Lakers and the Trailblazers, of course. We got to redeem ourselves from that tough L versus Indiana the other day. So let's hope Rockets and Lakers pull off some dubs today. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a wrap for episode 14. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at Double Dribble Pod. Got anything else to say, Drew?
No, sir. Let's get it.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, man. All right.